Hey, do you want to make frankly obscene amounts of cash? Do you have zero moral compunctions that might inhibit your success, even though the road to the top is steep and lined with various unethical business practices? Do you care nothing for your fellow man and or artistic vision? You're in luck then. Just insert $29.99 or $397.48 Canadian, and I'll teach you how to make some gacha games. Gacha games, games inspired by a terrifying Japanese tradition known as seppuku, where you shoot pinballs in order to undress a girl carrying a bowl of ramen. And before I go any further, I feel that my understanding of Japanese culture might be a little behind the times, so apologies when necessary. And then, something else happens, blah blah blah, and you get like a toy or something like that. When it was discovered that Android and iOS can be programmed in such a simple and fast way that even typewriters run the code, the market soon became flooded but not saturated with gacha games. Why hasn't the market hit saturation point, despite the fact I can't scroll further than a pixel in Winter's length in Google Play Store without hitting one? Because as the wise Chinese philanderer Aristotle posited, the difference in hardcore porn and gacha is a string bikini and $39.99 USD, but the amount of shame equal in both. So the games are stupidly easy to code, and the only decision you'll spend an afternoon making is if you want to spend 2 hours making it a fully automated RPG, 5 hours to make it a complex battler with some meaningful gimmicks, or just 15 minutes copying Puzzles and Dragons like everybody else. These options have totally not been done to death, so feel no worry if you can't be bothered to innovate. Once you have done the easy part, the next part's to locate someone with artistic talent and ask them to draw some girls. Lots and lots of girls. Unlike H games, the themes here can be as broad or as narrow or as obtuse as you want. In fact, you can use multiple themes and just do what most of these games do and steal from history and mythology and just make them all girls. It literally doesn't matter how deep or nuanced your story or gameplay are if the waifus are cute enough. Lots of girls are necessary. Tall girls, short girls, thick girls, lean girls, brown girls, bunny girls. Just don't ever stop making girls. Ever. You'll be expected to actually update about once every 2 weeks or so, and that's getting ahead of ourselves. Lastly, for each summoning banner, place 4 characters on them in very dynamic poses and outfits in a ratio of 3 girls to 1 guy. Guys, I hear you ask incredulously. Yes, I recently read a very scientific study that said girls sometimes use the internet now, and so to compensate for this possible oversight, each banner needs 1 shirtless guy. But unlike girls, never vary body types. Just watch a few Marvel movies for their shirtless stud scenes and copy those. That's all you'll have to do. And sometimes give them different hats, so, they know they're different guys. What? Sound design? Pfft, don't be ridiculous. Everyone's only going to be playing these at their jobs when they can't play their real game libraries, so they're just going to mute them anyway. Those that don't would be the creepy weirdos that just want to hear their waifu of choice's voice actress anyway. And Wendy Lee is going to do like 85% of those anyway, so just skip this part. The core of any gacha game, as it was foretold in the Japanese rom-com, The Art of War and Peace by Leo Toy Store, is their summoning mechanic. You need some kind of in-game currency to exchange in order to summon heroes to make up your party. Sure, you'll give the player some generic filler heroes, but they'll all be bottom tier and worst waifus, with no real potential for growth, but that way no one can call foul on the design either. The real draw will be summoning, so make your orbs or your gems or whatever, just be sure they're artificially inflated like nations that no longer rely on the gold and silver standards, because just like those nations that no longer rely on the gold and silver standards, your imaginary currency is backed by literally nothing other than the insistence that, yes, 300 platinum gems totally cost $49.99. Stop asking so many questions. The second most pivotal point is that your exchange between currency and summon is completely irrational. Anything from 5 to 150 or, whatever is acceptable, just so long as that it's never, ever one-to-one. That would make it easy for your fans to deduce the true value of the currencies, and that's literally the last thing you need. Sure, you can set aside special vouchers for people who acquire enough good boy points by making the game a habit, rather than a game in the requisite daily login bonus category. Those are entirely secondary and should still have the same low rates of drawing heroes anyone gives a fart in a hurricane over. About once a year, hand them a 5-star summon vouchers if they have enough good boy points, and throw them a bone to keep them in the dopamine loop. So, once the game's on the market, just rotate your banner every 2 weeks, usually in the pattern of useless fan service banner twice, and then a mechanically powerful character banner once, and repeat. That way, players are inclined to waste their currencies on bathing suit beauties or Valentine's Day honeys instead of the St. Patrick's Day themed hero who has S ranks in strength and defense. and this will incentivize players to routinely pay up like the good little whales they're meant to be. I mean, it will encourage players to contribute to your work economy so your studio keeps the lights on, like the good little whales they're meant to be. Yeah, there we go, much better. Now, just slap on a campaign mode and a crap ton of side missions, preferably one or more for each hero you can make in order to pad out the game length, then slap a stamina bar on top of all that. Make sure they can't do more than 10 missions in a day's time at the highest possible levels, so they don't blast through your paper-thin experience and keep ponying up properly. This will also tie it back into the make the game a habit goal we talked about earlier. Once you have enough starving artists ball and chained to their writer's desk churning out waifus, yeah, that's pretty much it. You have a sustainable game in the same way a drug cartel does. Now, make another following the above and enjoy double the money. Ad infinitum. Also, one last bit of writing advice. Never, ever finish your story. Just keep adding new twists and complications no matter how hackneyed it may come off. If they're getting bi-weekly banners, they aren't complaining that the story only updates every financial quarter when their investors start asking questions. Bonus points for making your characters aware of the events as they come and go and reference past banners, and that will add the illusion of depth to the writing and characters. Congrats! You're contributing to the blight on Earth's surface known as cell phone games. When the aliens find us and we try to rationalize all the good we've done, yours will be one among many sins that gets us vaporized for the cosmic scale McDonald's. But hey, you can't take all that money with you when you go anyway, so you're welcome.